What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Our Streamers Cheaters. Today we're going to be having a look at what aimbot and wallhacks do, how they work, how many different settings they've got. I'm hoping to open your eyes a bit clearer as to what aimbot looks like, because I've had a lot of people commenting on my videos who haven't got a clue. They seem to think that it just locks onto heads, one shot kill all the time and you don't miss a bullet. And it couldn't be further from the truth. We're going to go through some of the settings on this video today and hopefully educate you guys on what aimbot and wallhacks actually do and how you can change them, how many different ways there are to change them as well. Let's take a look at some of these settings now. Before we do, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, done it? Great. Let's have a look. We're going to have a look now at some of the settings that can be used on Modern Warfare, Warzone, for the hacks. I'm going to show you everything possible and try and explain every single individual setting and hope that that explains to you how to see people and how they are hacking. It's just going into a normal game. Here we go, and I'm going to pause that for a second. So these are the hacking softwares that are available. Okay. So on these, it says ESP on. Now, for those who don't know what ESP is, that's actually, you see here, the names of people. It's got the distance, and it actually says that they are unarmed. Okay, so it's got like different squares around. That's your ESP anyway. Now, how far away do you want to be able to see people? That's the distance on this setting here. So you've got the ESP set to on, distance 500, which means that while using these hacks, you can see people within a 500-meter radius of yourself. So from the point you're standing in a circle all the way around, you can see 500 meters away where people are. You can also see loot boxes, you can see guns on the floor, money, and so on. And when you know when there's an enemy there, you can see what weapon they've got as well. So if they're sitting upstairs, top of the stairs, waiting for you to go up, and they've got, I don't know, a Car 98, then you know that you can push up with an Uzi and kill them, for example. Okay, so it tells you everything you need to know about your enemy as you are approaching them, the location, what gun they've got, and so on. I think that it may actually be a setting on some of these hacks where you can see what their health is as well. So you can tell how many armor plates they've got on, and if they've just been in a gunfight, if their health is low, so you can push them quicker. Okay. So this is allowing you to actually turn off all the settings, but he's got them all set to off, which means that they're on in the game. Now, aimbot. As he's going through the settings here, he turns aimbot on and starts adjusting the field of view. Now, I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit here because I want you guys to understand something. See the circle in the center of the screen here? That's his field of view, which means if he is to shoot his weapon at someone who is within that circle, it will lock onto them. Now, that's all dependent on their aim speed as well, okay? So you can actually have here hide field of view circle on this, so that allows the circle to either be there on show or not. So you can actually expand that field of view to the full size of your screen, which means it will lock on to everyone. You can actually have aim spot here. Yeah. Aim spot is head, body, or head scan, body scan, which means it'll hit the body first and then scan up and down. Hit the head first, scan up and down, or it will aim predominantly at the head, or it will aim predominantly at the chest. So people have this conception that aimbot means that it will aim at the head only, headshots, and it will not miss. It will miss. If your enemy is moving in brilliant play style with good rotations, you are not going to hit every bullet. Okay, depending on your aim speed as well. So the aim speed means, for example, if I am looking slow and I've got my aim speed turned right up, it will bang, snap onto the enemy. Okay, let's have a look at how he sets his up here in this video. He's adjusted his field of view to 40. He's turning his aim speed up to 40 as well. The aim spot's set to head on this as well. And as you can see, he's now set up a radar. This is another feature that you get with these softwares. It actually allows you to see on a map where all the enemies are, which actually is good for people using Wallhacks because they don't have to keep looking around in circles. They can just check their radar. You will catch people without a radar, and they will do 360 turns constantly, checking through walls to see if enemies are approaching from any direction. But this actually stops them having to do that, which makes it harder to catch a streamer who is cheating using wall hacks. Okay, so he's now, let's go back so we can get these settings up. I want to show you guys what settings he's got on this. Aim viz check off, aim key press to select. Okay, so he actually has a key set up on his keyboard. However, you can use these if you plug a controller into your PC as well. It is still doable. All of these settings still work. It just means that, for example, PlayStation controller L2 is aim down sight, so you can set up which is your aim setting. So you can have it lock on zoom, you can have it lock on fire. You don't even have to ADS. You could just be looking in the direction, and if your circle goes onto someone, it will lock onto them. Even if you're not aiming at anyone, it'll lock onto them and push you in that direction. So many different settings to go through. So let's talk about the aim speed setting right now. This is the one that people have a misconception of. People believe that aimbot locks on very harshly every time. If you set that aim speed setting very low, it actually only very minorly snaps on at the end. But you can tell based on the player's speed and movement. Okay, if I am moving at a pace that is slow like this, and then right at the last second it snaps on, that shows a very low aim speed. Now the field of view, if that is low as well, you won't be locking onto people all over the place. So example, if I have a low field of view, like this guy's field of view is only this small, which is very small, right? But it's still big enough to have a snap-on effect, okay? So it's very small, but unless the enemy, if you're in duos or trios or quads, if you're shooting at an enemy and their teammate ends up within that circle as well, the minute you kill that enemy, it'll lock onto their teammate. However, if you have it wider and you have it the size of the screen and you kill an enemy, it will lock onto somebody else. Let's think about Symphony, for example, right now. He's shooting at one person, all of a sudden locks onto someone who is in a building to his right.
Bottom house.
Floating.
Oh my, okay. Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's because he has a high field of view setting. Field of view setting means that you will snap onto people within that circle. The snap speed, whether or not it's blatant or not, is based on your aim speed setting, like we've showed here. Now the aim distance as well. This allows you to change how far you will snap onto people. If anybody is further than 250 meters away, this guy will not actually lock onto him in any way, it's still quite a far distance, isn't it? You could lock onto someone with an MP5 from 250 meters away, as long as they're within that circle, and he will lock on to the head. He's got a set to head, and it just shows like that you can be very, very blatant with it, but you can also use all of these settings to hide that you are using them. So I'm going to go through some settings with you now. These settings is how you will hide it. So now you have aimbot on. Aim field of view, put that as low as possible. Okay, so say that was on 10. That would be 4 times smaller than this circle that you can see here. So it would be very, very small. And then if you have the aim speed set to 10, for example, as well, that means that instead of it flicking in any way, shape or form, it will just move with the enemy a fair amount of speed, and you will miss bullets with this speed being so low. Because if your enemy starts running, sprinting to the left or the right while you're aiming straight at them, even if your field of view was on them and they move slightly, that will only pull you at a very slow speed towards your enemy, which will actually make you look like you're missing bullets, okay? Until you adjust this slightly so that it locks onto them again. Aim distance, again, if you have that set to 250 and you're live streaming, lasering people with a floor gun 250 meters away with no recoil, that means that it's very suspicious. So what you would do, you would change your aim distance lower, unless you are running a sniper. then you'd put it higher, but you would have it lower, for example, at the start of a game, because just remember, these can be adjusted throughout the game as well. So whether or not someone's got them on, all they've got to do is hit off. Turn that off, and all of a sudden, they don't need them at the moment. They're running through, blah, blah, blah. If someone accuses them of using aimbot, they can say, no, I'm not. Turn it off, and so on. Okay? Now, as I was saying, these are the settings I would use if I was trying to hide them from my viewers. So we've got, at the moment, a 10 field of view, which is a lot smaller than what this guy's using. I would have a 10 aim speed, which means that it wouldn't snap on very much. And the distance would be a lot lower as well, which means I'm not lasering people across the map. And the aim spot, this one's set to head. I would have it set to chest, because if you're constantly getting nothing but headshots, especially if you shoot someone 200 meters away with an AR or an SMG and you end up getting a headshot, it's very, very suspect. So I would have that set to chest shots only. Which brings me to the streamer that we've just outed, Miri TV. Okay, he's a Mexican streamer, meant to be #1 Mexican Warzone player, right? Okay, but every single one of his shots hits the chest, and it always locks onto the same point of the chest. Here's a closer look at what it looks like when you've got smooth aim, which is a slow aim, okay? So slow aim with a low field of view looks just like this. As you can see there, while he's aiming, the guy gets downed, but it doesn't stay off his chest. This one's just exactly the same. See how slow he's moving up, and it snaps on at the top, doesn't miss a single bullet. He has his aim speed a little bit higher than what I'm telling you should have it if you're trying to hide it. Okay, so the speed he has is set actually flicks a little bit. His field of view isn't that high. He's not flicking from one player to another very often. But what it does is the field of view is big enough so that it locks onto his enemy. And you can tell this as well by when he's shooting someone in the chest. When they get down, his aim will stay on that point of their chest as their body falls to the floor until they are finished on the floor and he's killed them. Okay, and that is how you know that he is using like an aim lock, an aim field of view, and also aimbot, for example. So his aimbot settings are very low, and this is what I'm trying to explain to you. There are so many different settings, and this is just one software. Okay, so all these settings have numerous different options. Distance you can have on your ESP, all the different ESPs you can show. The aim field of view, I'm not even sure what the highest is for that, but like, just imagine your whole screen being the field of view. Like, so everyone on the map you can lock onto at any point. You can turn your aim distance up to the maximum so it will lock onto anyone. So you could be in Dam and shoot someone in prison, for example. And it's just an absolute joke that these settings can give someone so much of an advantage, but also allow people to hide the fact that they are cheating. Some people probably don't use aimbot settings, just the ESP, because imagine knowing where everyone is. Even if you've got brilliant aim already, just knowing where everyone is. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. You don't know what type of settings a streamer's using. I have gone through so many of these settings, researched them, what it looks like, how it looks on video to watch. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to minimize this video a little bit so that you can watch some of the gameplay based on the settings he has here. Okay, so you can see even when he gets his map up, you can actually see where everyone is across the map. This is still in the pre-lobby, you know, and look at him. He's fallen from the sky, lasering someone. He missed shots, and he's got that set to headshots. And his field of view's on 40, which is actually quite big. But whenever someone is within that circle, yeah, he's hitting shots. But based on his own movements as well, he can still miss shots. Let's look at this now. All his enemies jumping out of the aeroplane here. So it's showing, this one actually does show the player health. That green bar next to the square, the red square around them, the red box, that green bar is the player health. So it's actually showing that in this as well, in this software. You can see all the enemies. So when you see someone in this like sort of position, if they do a full 360 turn, imagine now what they can see through all of the walls that they're looking at. They can see these enemies. You can see a red box, whatever name, health, what gun they're using. So if I know that there's 4 people to my left, I can rotate right, which makes me look like a good player because my rotation was on point. Okay, now imagine doing that with ESP hidden. you'd know where your enemies are, but your stream don't know you know where the enemies are. This guy is trying to shoot someone through a fence, okay? Let's look, see if he locks on. Missing bullets. Missing bullets. Okay? I'm showing you someone. Look, he was missing bullets. Guess what he's done? He's turning his field of view up, okay? Now he lasers him. With a lower field of view, you will miss shots. Okay? And if anyone's clever enough to try and stream using Aimbot, they will have their settings on so low that it seems like they are just a good player, because actually Aimbot will give you anti-recoil as well. If you are aiming at someone and it locks onto them, you don't get any form of recoil either. But if you are not locked onto anyone, you will get recoil on the gun still. So you'll notice if somebody's shooting someone and it lasers them as soon as they're downed or dead, it'll flick up in the air. Okay, as you saw there, he had that on a higher field of view, and he's got it locked to head. So even while the enemy's through a building, it was locked onto his head and moving with him. So many different settings, guys. Honestly, this is crazy. This footage is fantastic as well to actually see from the hacker's point of view with different settings, and the way it's changing is fantastic. And I'm so glad I can share this with you all as well. Hopefully, a lot of you realise now that just because they're not locking on and hitting every shot all the time and they're missing bullets. So he knows where his enemies are through the wall here, and he's locked onto the heads. Okay? Even though he was shooting at him there, he didn't kill him, didn't laser him, but he knows where he is. Just because somebody is using Wallhacks and Aimbot doesn't mean that they're going to be amazing at the game. It doesn't mean they're going to drop 50 kills every game. This is what you got to remember. There are still players out there who are that good that they can work their way around someone who is cheating. Catch them from behind. This guy knows where everyone is, and he's that blatant with it. He's looking through floors and walls at people. Look, locks through the wall, bang. How many times do you see your favourite streamer looking like that, the aim down sight? It's called pre-firing. Yeah, people call it pre-firing, but this to me is Wallhacks, okay? You see, he hit that guy there, but because his teammate wasn't in the circle, which is his field of view, it didn't latch onto him. Okay, he knows where all these enemies are. He knows that guy's in there. As you can see now, he's got it set so the aim speed is quite high. That 40 aim speed is what's making it latch on. The lower you have your aim speed, the less of a snap your aim will have. The lower your field of view is, the less of a snap your aim will have. It's like, so yeah, let me just pause this 1 second. Okay, paused at the wrong point there. There we go. Say you are aiming in this section here, right in the center of that circle is where you want your enemy to be, okay? But say your enemy is here, yeah, and that's where you're aiming here, it will snap over to that section there. And that's what it does. As long as they're within that circle, it will snap onto them. The smaller the field of view, the less snap you have. Remember, right guys, when I was telling you about when Miri TV was shooting someone, it was hitting him in the chest all the time. Now, imagine this guy we're watching now has got headshots on, okay? So he's aiming at the head. Watch when he hits this player now, how when the player moves down after being downed, the aim stays on his head. That's what's happening with Miri TV, but it's aiming at the chest instead, and as the player falls, it sticks to that point of the chest. Watch this now. Yeah? So he is stuck until right at the end, when he's killed the guy, it was stuck to the guy's head. But people who have it set to chest, it will stick to the chest. You know, this guy again trying to shoot people through things, and this isn't a very clever hacker. Whoever we are watching here is not a very clever hacker, although he's just trying to expose these hacks by sending me in a clip of what it looks like. People will never, ever believe 100% someone is using aimbot unless they are hitting constant headshots like we've seen in this video. They honestly only think aimbot is never miss a bullet, always hit headshots, 100 kills a game. It's not. I've talked you through all of these settings now, and I'm hoping that it sheds some light on what to expect when you're watching someone. If somebody's got that little snap at the end every time they pull their aim at someone, it's a chance that they're using a very low field of view. You know, if somebody's lasering people 200 meters away without any recoil, it's a chance that they're using aimbot and that they've got a very far distance on the field of view as well. The aim distance, the aim spot, the aim field of view, the aim speed. These are the things that affect whether or not the aimbot is clear as day, or very suspicious, or very hidden well. Okay, there's so many settings to it, guys. I'm hoping this has shed some light on it for you. Me personally, I know when I'm seeing someone use hacks based on what I've experienced from seeing all of these videos that get sent in to me. I've got people doing research for me. I've been doing my own research. I get videos sent in explaining certain settings. This video was actually showing head scans, headshots, and the ESP. I've used it as an example because of how clear the settings are on this video. Thought I could talk through them with you. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Well, there you have it, guys. I'm hoping this has opened your eyes a little bit to a little bit more understanding of what aimbot and Wallhacks looks like. I've had a lot of comments with negativity and lack of understanding about aimbot and Wallhacks within some of the videos I've posted. I'm hoping this has actually brought a bit of light on what aimbot and Wallhacks looks like, and hoping you guys understand it a little bit further. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to drop a comment and let me know what you think. If the information was great but there was still something missing that you'd like to know, ask in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications if you're new. If you want to support the channel that little bit further, hit the blue join button today and become a member of the Triple B fam. You unlock a loyalty badge next to your name, you'll get custom emojis to use in the comments, and you get to be entered into all member giveaways as well. Not to mention, in the community tab, you will get leaked footage, leaked information about future videos which will be coming out. So guys, thank you very much, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!